Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Bobby. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, whatever it may be, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1987 film, Masters of the Universe. Now, I will be honest, growing up, I wasn't really a big fan of this movie because I wouldn't say I saw every He-Man cartoon, but I knew well enough about it by the time I saw this film. I just remember being disappointed. Of course, later on, knowing more about the film, it's canon films, they didn't have the budget for it. The budget needed to do a proper He-Man movie. And I'm like, well, wait, why are they on Earth? And why does it look so cheap? And who the hell's Gwildor? Where the hell's Orko? And all this jazz. I will say, watch this again, I don't hate it anymore. I don't hate it anymore. I will watch this 10 times over Kevin Smith's BS. You know, Kevin Smith's crappy He-Man cartoon where He-Man's not the star and he's just a fucking pussy. And Tila is a bitch and... I know you died, He-Man, but I still blame you because you didn't tell me you were He-Man. Tila, I gave my life so that you would be safe and everyone else would be safe. I don't care. You didn't tell me who you are, so fuck you, He-Man. Fucking Kevin Smith, fucking He-Man bullshit. That shitty fucking cartoon. I talked about that already. Maybe appreciate this film more. Now, the director, Gary Goddard, kind of hard for me about this film is that the director... Yes, they were accusations, to be fair, but he's been accused of many misdeeds involving younger people, including Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, Goose from Top Gun, star of Miracle Mile. He even wrote something about how Gary Goddard did something to him long ago. Now, I don't know why he didn't say something sooner. Like, when you were Goose in Top Gun, like, that era. Because then, number one, maybe if Gary Goddard did this, you could prevent other people going through that. See, that's the thing. I don't know what's true, what's not. I don't know. But it still leaves a little bit of a stain on there. Now you got Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. You got Frank Langella as Skeletor. Yep. The very beginning, we're in Eternia. One release another, there's this cosmic key that Gwildor makes, where Skeletor had a version of it. That's why they were able to take over Castle Grayskull so easily. They're being overburdened, so He-Man, Tila, Man-at-Arms, and Gwildor have to escape, and the place they escape to is Earth. Why? Because it's cheaper there. While on Earth, there's these two teens, Courteney Cox, who will later be in Friends TV show, reeling from the death of her parents. She has a boyfriend who's a musician. During the travel, He-Man and them, the cosmic key was lost, and these two teens find it. The guy thinks it's some kind of weird synthesized musical equipment. Synthesizer, something like that. So our characters have to find the cosmic key, and then the bad guys get there, and they want the thing, as well as Skeletor wanting He-Man captured. And the movie goes on from there. Now, let me say some positives. Bill Conti's score. Bill Conti worked on Rocky, among many other films. Very high energy score. Very triumphant score. It may not be the He-Man theme, but this seems appropriate for a He-Man type of character. It complements the character very well. I think it's a very solid score. Number 2, Frank Langella. From what I understand, his son, who was fairly young at the time, was a big He-Man fan. It's one of the reasons he did this. I think he said to this day it's one of his favorite roles he got to play. He's got to be over the top. And Frank Langella does a wonderful job as Skeletor. He's as dramatic as a Shakespearean play, but it doesn't feel as if he's above this. He gets it. He's evil, but he's deliciously evil. I dare anything. I'm Skeletor. Or I'm trying to think of another line of dialogue. Because I'm bad remembering dialogue. But he just really commands the room, commands the presence. You get why people are scared of Skeletor. He's looked as more as a villain, more to be feared. The makeup, the mask, I mean, like the nose, you could tell it's fake because you see the material where, a nose, the holes, there'd be an indentation. This is a nose, to breathe. But you tell there's fabric there, and, that particular kind of ruins the fantasy. But the rest of the design's not too bad. But bits like the fabric over the nose, because it's just a mask, kind of ruins like I said, the fantasy of it. But still a pretty decent look for Skeletor. And like I said, Frank Langella acts his ass off. He-Man, listen, Dolph Lundgren, I'm a huge Dolph Lundgren fan. So maybe you call me a Dolph Lundgren apologist. Although a lot of his later films, like a lot of action heroes, were not that good. As in, was it Dead Trigger and Missionary Man, some of these others I thought were really lame. But I'm a huge Dolph Lundgren fan. Rocky IV, Ivan Drago was great, but also, my favorite is I Come in Peace from 1990. Also known as Dark Angel. Love that movie. I love Showdown Little Tokyo. I love Red Scorpion. Men at War, I think is very underrated. Universal Soldier, awesome film. Some of his direct-to-video films, some were not so good, but some of them, like The Peacekeeper, not too bad. It's a pretty neat car chase among rooftops. And for its low budget, I got some enjoyment out of it. A couple of films he directed, like, A Command Performance, kind of Die Hard imagine Die Hard at a rock concert. Got some fun out of that. I didn't. Knowing this direct-to-video, doesn't have the biggest budget, I thought Command Performance was entertaining. I thought, what was the one called where he protects, there's like an embassy and Jerry Springer is the president. I forgot what that movie was called. But I actually do remember liking that film. Now, this was early in his career. He had more of a thicker accent. He wasn't the most fluent in acting. But you know what? I still liked him as He-Man. I thought it was the right decision to give him a few lines as you can. I thought, while they're not as natural as it could be, I thought it was he did his best with his limited acting at that time. And he definitely looked like He-Man. He had the right look. He had the right build. With the hair, he screamed He-Man. Him handling the sword. I'm like, you know what? Being a fan of Dolph Lundgren, and fuck, I've seen worse. If people think Dolph Lundgren's so horrible in this, man, I could show you some movies. Go on my letterbox, look at those 100 worst films I put on there, in the list. Then watch some of those movies in acting. So, I would say I like Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. I think he could work very well as He-Man. I just wish it was with a different studio. I think that was really the crime I love canon films. But they work better in Death Wish 3, Invasion USA, American Ninja 1 and 2. That's their wheelhouse. That's their ball game. That's where they're more comfortable with. Them trying to do bigger budget movies, Superman 4 was a big old disaster. I would watch this any day over Superman 4. But this, I mean, with sci-fi Cyborg I like, but Cyborg, again, with John Van Damme, the martial artist, that's more their wheelhouse. This, it's not. It's just not Canon's forte. They just did not have the money for it. Even during the making of the film, they got the rights from Mattel, the toy company. And while making the film, there was no more money. To a point that the end battle wasn't going to happen. I remember reading up somewhere that the director said, the He-Man Skeletor, they're getting ready to fight, and the lights shut off. They're like, what the hell's going on? And literally, the Canon guy said, oh, just do a fade out. Fade to black. And the director's like, what? Yeah, it don't matter. They're going to fight. Well, just do a fade to black. It's good enough. What? I mean, no, that's not fucking good enough. Of course, when Menahem Golan's directing, then he has room to spend money. So that's why the last fight between He-Man and Skeletor looks a bit funky with the lights down. And it's like the one scene filmed differently than the rest is because they had to film all that in like a day. Now, Meg Foster as Evil Lynn, I actually think that was a good choice, especially with her eyes. Chelsea Field, who was in The Last Boy Scout, she was in prison. Well, she was... the movie Prison, she wasn't in prison. She was in the movie Prison from 1988, directed by Rennie Harlan. She plays Teela. Granted, her outfit looks nothing like Teela, but, I thought Chelsea Field and the guy who played Man-at-Arms, I thought they did fine for what they were given. James Tolkien is a detective on Earth. James Tolkien, he was the principal calling people slacker in Back to the Future. He's in this. Billy Barty as Gwildor, I did not like. I thought he was annoying as piss in the wind. I did not like Gwildor. I understand with Orko, they could not... There's no way they could have made that effect with this budget, which sucks. But Gwildor, I found him annoying. I found him irritating. I thought he was just a bad replacement for Orko. Really bad. Did not give a rat's ass about him. And it just, which is funny because I like Side of the Hedgehog and that's on Earth. And believe me, it's like, I know how that goes because it's a way to do it to be cheaper. And it's like, well, they'll try to worm their way out of it by the director or someone going, but it's more relatable that's on Earth. No, people don't want relatability if they're going to He-Man or Sonic and all this other shit. They want to see the fantastical, escapism. I got that shit at home. I could go open the window and see that. I want to see something new. So yeah, people want to see more of Eternia, more of that, than Man-at-Arms and Teela eating ribs and chicken, or a battle in a music shop. The two teens, I don't even think they were bad actors. Like Courteney Cox and the guy, I don't even think they were bad. I don't think they were bad. It's just I didn't care. I didn't care about them because I'm not watching it for you two. I'm watching it for He-Man. Watch it for the He-Man stuff. So I don't care about you two. Sorry, just how the cookie crumbles. Now the villains, I liked some of the people. I mean, it wasn't a lot from the cartoon Sally, so some they made up, but the guy who played Blade, didn't mind him. I didn't mind his look, his outfit. And the guy who played Blade, he was actually a weapons master. He helped train Dolph with the sword. I believe he's also the same guy that trained Michelle Pfeiffer to use the whip in Batman Returns. And I think he actually worked with Patrick Swayze. He's actually one of the bad guys in Roadhouse, who Patrick Swayze fights in the third act when Swayze's trying to get into that house. The guy who plays Blade is one guy Patrick Swayze fucks up. You have Beastman, you have Cord, you have Sarod the Lizard, which that was a cool looking creature. I remember having that toy when I was a kid. I do remember having that toy. I don't think I have it anymore. And the reason they created new stuff is Mattel was hoping to have new toy lines to sell and make some money. Obviously, that didn't work out. I think also at this time, He-Man, the cartoon, was kind of... This is 87, and by the time the cartoon was on the decline, it wasn't its heyday. So I think Mattel said yes to this, hoping that this would reinvigorate He-Man. It didn't. The film didn't do well critically, didn't do well commercially. Cannon still wanted to do a sequel, and Dolph Lundgren's like, well, I'm not doing this again. So they're going to cast some surfer guy as He-Man, and it was going to cost like, I don't know, $2-3 million at most. And I think Albert Pyun was going to direct it, and that fell through because they didn't have the rights to it anymore. Either they couldn't pay the rights anymore, and Mattel's like, fuck you. And then they used some of that stuff for Cyborg, which I think was the better choice. And it's just the way the characters look. They look goofy in the Earth setting. They just look like a bunch of cosplay people looking for a Comic-Con. So I just... That's the thing, when you got the outfits and stuff, and they're, again, walking down a regular street, but to get back to some good, at least He-Man's a badass in this. At least He-Man is kicking ass. At least He-Man shows why he's He-Man. Yeah, I mean, at times he's fighting people that are pretty much black stormtroopers, but he's shooting them with guns, which, I'm like, did He-Man shoot a lot of guns in the cartoon? I don't remember him shooting a lot of guns in the cartoon, but hey, it's the canon version, so yeah. Try to have a bit of that Star Wars feel to it, which I think it's going to be the Star Wars of the 80s. It didn't quite work out that way. But at least you got He-Man, shooting bad guys, kicking bad guys' ass, kicking butt with his sword. Was in this warehouse protecting Courteney Cox. There's all these bad guys, and he's having a sword fight with Blade, or he throws Sarod the Lizard at this, and fucking up Beastman. And again, Dolph knows how to handle action. That and the Bill Conti store, at least he gets some satisfying fun with that. Unlike Kevin Smith's He-Man, which you don't. And come on, when you get to the end, and he's, the finale, he's getting the sword, and he pulls it out, and he's like, I have the power, as the music soars up, and the light's shining, I have the power, and you see between He-Man and Skeletor, them exchanging words. You're like, fuck yeah, that's He-Man. That works. That's pretty cool. Now, granted, I don't care for the gold Skeletor look. I wish the fight was him in the actual Skeletor look. The gold Skeletor looked like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. Wasn't really big on it. Just like because when they finally get a fight, it's with... I would like to have seen a fight between actual looking Skeletor and He-Man. I think that would have been cool. And if Canon would have said, hey, let them be able to finish this fucking fight without resorting to cheaper tactics, that would have been nice to see. But yeah, they find the Cosmic Key. They try to figure out how to make it work. They're attacked in the music shop, blasting back and forth. There's a bit where there's these flying cylinders and He-Man gets on top. Those effects don't look the best. They don't really hold up the best. I mean, it's low-budget canon film, so go figure. And they're going around and kind of what you see in Highlander 2 later on. Although I do Highlander 2 I thought did that a bit better. I do think Highlander 2, that does look a bit better, the way it was done in that, which was a few years after this. Highlander 2, The Quickening, which I do like the Renegade cut of it. Sue me. I do like that. But I like the idea of He-Man and kicking some ass. It is, sometimes it's the basic. You want to see He-Man kick some ass. Dolph Lundgren knows how to do that. He had the right look. It's like a Frazetta painting come to life. Like I said, you just wish that, honestly, this was with a different studio. I can imagine if you had someone who's a bit more of an established director, who had more of a handle on effects and action and how to make it pop, and you had a studio that had more backing in terms of budget. Who knows what this could have been? It's just, again, the limitations of canon films definitely hurt the film. Like, if you had an actual budget, maybe don't go to Earth. Have it be in Eternia. And you even, with Dino De Laurentiis, like Conan the Destroyer, when Conan and them find that palace where that wizard is in, you have certain environments like that, or certain environments you would see in, like, Flash Gordon, the 1980 movie. Like, some of that stuff where you get creative with the visuals and the environment, and I think people would have preferred to see that, not just, we're going to Earth. And in the back of your head, they know, too. They know they cheaped out, because the studio cheaped out. Again, people go to see this to steep reality, not to see, oh, there's a chicken, place. Oh, there's a music store. Because they want to see the spectacle. They want the wow factor. They want to feel grandiose, to take you into another world. And canon films couldn't afford to do that. Which, again, they should not have tried in the first place. They overindulged themselves, they overexerted themselves, so they had these big bombs. Sadly, Over the Top was a bomb, which I love. Like, Over the Top, I thought worked very well. And even that, I thought was more their wheelhouse. But a lot of people don't like Over the Top. I love Over the Top. But, like I said, the two teens, it's not that they're terrible, it's just I don't care about their predicament. I'm not seeing it for you two, I'm sorry. Low budget battles. You wish there was a bit more, either a director with more finesse, like a Russell Mulcahy, a Rennie Harlan, that type of director. And I know for years they've been talking about making a He-Man movie. At one point John Woo was going to direct it, which that'd be interesting to see how that would work out. I just don't think that works in today's age. And if they do it now, there'd be a bunch of damn politics in it. That's also another thing when you watch these 80s movies. There's no... If it's politics, it's not the politics of today. Like Rambo 2, you just say is politics, but more about the government screwing over veterans. Which I'm more into those politics than the gender politics of today. Sora the Lizard, I was saying before, I like that design. I think that creature got killed off way too early. Because they fail, and then Skeletor kills one of them. I'm like, don't kill that one. That's like the coolest design. That's like the coolest looking one. So I thought, like, Beastman, go ahead, or Cord, go ahead. But, like, Sora the Lizard, I'm like, that's the coolest looking design. Why you kill him off so easy? And, so quickly. Again, that looked the coolest. Because it was a lizard, but it had this armor and helmet on him. So it's like you can't quite get a good look at him, but you know it's not human. But go figure, the most interesting design, that's the one they kill off first. Go figure. Or really the only one they kill off, because, like, He-Man beats up Blade, but I don't think we really see him die. I think Beastman and Korg run away with Evil Lyn, so they don't die. So it's not like, other than Skeletor and the Sauron guy. And a bunch of these stormtroopers with black armor. Which I guess they're robots, because usually when they get hit, there's like circuitry. So I guess I'm assuming they're robots. Maybe not, I don't know. Are they supposed to be robots or no? Or they're just people, but then they get hit and it's their armor that's the circuitry? I don't know. I figured it was just robots to ease up on the rating of the movie. So that you don't, accidentally make it rated R or something. Because look how many people He-Man's killing. But if it's robots, it's like the Ninja Turtles cartoon. Why they made the Foot Clan members robots. Because you have them beating up people, it might hurt the rating. But if it's robots, then you can get away with it. So again, He-Man is cool. Skeletor is cool. The music is cool. He-Man kicking ass is cool. Love the Dolph. Frank Langella's have a lot of fun owning the role of Skeletor. It just sucks that, the budget was so low, that Canon Films cheaped out on it, that they had to go to Earth, which is basically that much more mundane. Gwildor, I thought was annoying. It's too bad they could not put Oracle in there, because there's no way they'd be able to afford it. You wish the fights were a bit more grand, but again, for what low budget they had. Some of the effects don't hold up the best, not at all, in some cases. But, some of the costume designs, like, I think He-Man's costume works well. And great looking sword. I think, like, Sora, the lizard, even the costume of Blade. Skeletor, despite the nose thing, looks pretty decent. Again, for its budget. And it's, like I said before, that moment, I have the power, still a pretty damn cool moment. And then he says again at the end, I'm like, yep, that's He-Man. I could buy him as He-Man. And it's sad because I think Dolph could have worked as He-Man. I wish it was with a bigger studio, which would have had more of a chance to be a truer He-Man movie. And that's the thing, is that this is the only live-action movie of it, and it's not that true of a He-Man movie because of those limitations. But at least you don't have a bitchy Tila wanting to take over and He-Man being a fucking stooge and fuck Kevin Smith. By the way, did I say that? I'll say it again. Fuck Kevin Smith. Fuck Kevin Smith. Fuck Kevin Smith. Fucking crybaby. I'm sure I know someone told me he's writing a new book, and I asked, does the book have teardrops in it? Like every page has a teardrop in it? Funded by Tylenol from the amount of headaches I get watching him cry all the time. Did he sign his signature in tears? There's so many tears he signed his name in his new book. There you go. Every page, here's a Kevin Smith teardrop for you to hold in forever. But anyway, enough of that. Master Universe, I don't hate it anymore. It's more of a time waster. Of the early Dolph films, it's the one I watched the least. But, I mean, even compared to later Dolph films, like, what was that one called? It was so good I can't remember it. Diamond Dogs. Compared to a film like Diamond Dogs, Master Universe is a lot more rewatchable than Diamond Dogs, but maybe at least some people get some charm out of it for what it is. So, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.